Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. I'm going to give you a quick review of the Suicide Squad. I'm going to give you my full review, what I think of the film, and also I'm going to review why it bombed in the box office in America and why I think the Warner Brothers executives don't know what they're doing. So without further ado, guys, let's get on with the show. So first thing I'm going to be talking about is my experience. I'm a big DC fan. I've always followed the DC comics, and Suicide Squad is one of my favorite DC comics. So I finally managed to persuade the missus to go with me to watch the Suicide Squad. She wasn't very keen, obviously, but I needed someone to go with me. So the cinema itself was good. It had nice recliner chairs, good sound system, good screen. It was packed. There was no social distancing at the time, but it was fine anyway. And the atmosphere was pretty good. People were laughing at the jokes, and so the atmosphere was pretty good. I would probably give my experience 9 out of 10. The missus fell asleep during the film. I think she fell asleep halfway, and she woke up about 20 minutes near the end when they were fighting the giant starfish. And she woke up and she was feeling really thirsty. So she asked me to go get some water. and I was like, hang on, the film's almost finished. Can you wait 20 minutes? She didn't want to go herself because it's really dark and she had to go through a lot of people. So she didn't want to do that. So she asked me to do it. And I said, can you wait? Because we're almost finished. And I didn't want to leave because I was really enjoying the film at the time. It was near the end and I didn't want to miss anything. So I said, just wait. So she looked pretty angry with me, to be honest. And she gave me the silent treatment and she looked really grumpy and angry. And the film finished in 20 minutes and she didn't talk to me all the way home. She didn't talk to me for like a few hours. But it's fine. I mean, that was my experience. Overall, I enjoyed the film. I would give the film overall 9 out of 10. Really enjoyed it from start to finish. It's exactly how I remember the DC Comics is like. So the director is very he's done a very good job putting the comics into film. And it's exactly what the comics was like back in the day. So I really enjoyed it, and it's one of the best DC films that's come out for ages. There hasn't been a good DC film for a long time, and I think this is one of the good ones. So let's get on to the review sections. It's going to be a non-spoiler, so you don't have to worry about me spoiling the movie for you. So first things first, it's an R-rated movie, so there's a lot of blood and gore, which I love. I grew up watching some great films of the 80s and 90s like RoboCop, and you got Total Recall and Conan the Barbarian. I mean, these are hard R films. They had lots of blood and gore, and they made really good films, and they don't seem to do that these days because they want to make money, so they make a lot of toned down films, PG rated films. Like the latest RoboCop was PG rated, and the latest Conan the Barbarian was also PG, so they tend to like tone it down if they make films these days. So it's good to watch a R-rated comic book film, really, because Marvel doesn't do R-rated films, so it's good to see lots of blood and gore. And it's not disgusting blood and gore, it just goes with the film. It's funny blood and gore, and it's really well done. The other thing is, it's really funny. It's everyone was laughing in the cinema. I found it very funny, and it was very well shot. He had great special effects. Some of the characters were great. King Shark was probably the best character in the film. Idris Elba did a good performance as always. I'm not going to tell you who dies, but a lot of these Suicide Squads, a lot of these characters die. I'm not going to tell you which ones. I'm not going to spoil it for you. And that's the great thing about the comics, because these guys are supposed to be disposable, so you don't know who's going to die, who's going to live by the end of the film, and that's what makes the film fun. The last protagonist is a giant starfish, which is quite different from your normal films that you get, but it's good. It's done in a really good way. Some other standout characters was Ratcatcher 2. She was really good, and Harvey was really good as well. So all in all, it was a really enjoyable film. Lots of blood and gore, special effects, great action scenes. There's no boring scenes in between. It's pretty much action throughout, and pretty much enjoyed the film really. So what am I? So in terms of ratings, what would I give it? I would give the acting 9 out of 10. The storyline's pretty believable. The acting was very spot on, very believable. The story itself, I'd give 9 out of 10 again. Special effects, 9 out of 10. Entertainment, I was very much entertained. 10 out of 10 for that. Violence and gore, I would give it 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed the blood and gore. And true to comics, it's very much 9 out of 10. It reminds me of the old DC comics, exactly how it should be. The director, I'd give him 9 out of 10 as well for doing a great job. And one special category I like to put as non-woke. Anything that's non-woke, I like to credit it really. So non-woke, I would give it 9 out of 10 because I didn't feel it was woke. I didn't feel I was being lectured to. Didn't feel it was a woke movie. So yeah, I'll give it 9 out of 10. So the film itself had a really bad box office. So in terms of box office, guys, the film did really bad, and there's a few reasons to this. Obviously, I think it made around 28 million in the United States box office and made about 70 million worldwide, which is really bad because if you compare it to Black Widow made over 100 million in its first weekend in the United States alone, and worldwide it made a lot more. So it hasn't really done very well. The budget for the film was about 180 million, so it needs to make around 500 million to break even, and it's not even close to that, so it's going to be a huge flop if it doesn't do very well. So there's a couple of reasons for this. Number one is obviously COVID's increased in the United States, so there's a lot more COVID cases going on, so that could be a reason. There's other reasons as well, and one reason I want to bring up is John Cena. And Americans don't seem to like John Cena, and a lot of bloggers and a lot of YouTube bloggers, especially people that are in the Star Wars community and a lot of fandom menace community, they were pretty much hating on John Cena when he apologized for calling Taiwan a country. So I don't know if you remember, guys, but during Fast and Furious 9 he apologized for calling Taiwan a separate country, and the Americans didn't like that. So he was all over YouTube, he was all over news articles saying, you know, he's a sellout to the Chinese and things like that. So they pretty went after him pretty bad. And I think that could have affected it as well. And he's not very much liked in America because he did that. But what's wrong with doing that, guys? I mean, if you make a mistake, it's okay to apologize. What's the point? You know, you're just apologizing. You're not licking someone's boot. I mean, seriously, I don't know what's wrong with these guys. And I'm not having a go at these bloggers, because a lot of these bloggers, when I first started going into YouTube, a lot of these bloggers I've been following from day one. A lot of these Fandom Menace, Midnight Edge, and Nerdrotic, and Heels versus Babyface, and all of these guys, they're great guys. They do really good reviews of films and stuff. But when it comes to China, they really are ill-informed. They really don't know much about China, and they seem to be bashing China any chance they can get. You know, really. There's a couple of other guys called Cameron Pasha, which I also listen to, and he also he doesn't seem to know much about China, and he's also, I like his inputs when it comes to film, but when it comes to, China and stuff, he seems to be very ill-informed as well. And a lot of these guys are ill-informed about China. They did the same thing when Mulan was coming up in China. They did a lot of bashing about Xinjiang and stuff like that, which I didn't like. So that could have affected it, and that could have affected it. But there's other reasons as well. And I'm going to come to the main reason why. One of the other reasons is the director. Director got cancelled. Like I think a couple of years ago, he got cancelled, and Disney fired him. And because a lot of people wanted him back, so all the actors and a lot of people wanted him back, they finally rehired him. And he got cancelled because a lot of people don't like the director for there's certain things that he said and certain things that he done. I'm not gonna mention it here, but yeah, so that could be another reason. The other reason is film's got really bad marketing. It really hasn't been advertised very well. I've not, I didn't even know he was out, to be honest. I thought it was going to be another few weeks, and he's only suddenly I found out it's out because I was looking at YouTube and I found all these reviews of Suicide Squad. I got, bloody hell, I need to go watch this. So I didn't even know it was going to be out. So I think the marketing was very bad. But the main reason why this film didn't do very well, because it got released on HBO Max on the same day as the cinemas, and that really has hit it hard because same thing happened with Black Widow. Once you put it up on streaming sites on the same day, a lot of people don't tend to go to cinemas. They'll either stay at home, watch it on streaming, or if you're really clever, you'll find pirated ways of doing it. And if you look for it, there, you can find it in pirated copies, and you get, very good quality pirated copies out there of Black Widow and Suicide Squad. So if you really look for it, you can find it. And I think that's probably the main reason what that's caused this, really. But the other main reason, I think, who's purely to blame are the Warner Brothers executives, the people that run HBO Max, the people that run Warner Brothers. I think they are probably most to blame, to be honest. So here's the thing, guys. These Warner Brothers executives have no idea how business works or how to make money. All they've done is mess up DC films because it all goes back to Justice League when they intervened and completely messed the first Justice League up. And they've also messed up the first Suicide Squad as well. Too much studio interfering. But if you think about it, these guys have no idea how business works and how film works and how to make money. Because when you release a film, right, you have 5 streams of revenue. Number one, you put it on cinema and it's exclusive. So people are forced to go to the cinema, have that experience, enjoy the film. And the second one is VOD, video on demand. You put it up on video on demand, people pay 10, 20 quid if they want to watch it. Then after video on demand, then you can put it on streaming. You can put it on streaming exclusive on HBO Max, for example, and people will subscribe to you because this film is coming out on HBO Max exclusively, so people will subscribe to you. And the next one is obviously DVD sales, and the final one is you sell these films to other TV companies like on television or cable or Sky, and these people pay you to showcase your films. So what these Warner Brothers executives done here, they've released this film first day on streaming, same day as a cinema. So basically they're destroying about 3 or 4 streams of funding just by doing that. Number one, they're destroying the cinema money because people will stay at home, watch it, and if there's a family of 5, 6, 10 even, they'll sit at home, watch it, and all they have to do is pay for one subscription fee. And also, a lot of people will watch it on pirated copies if they want to pay, if they can't afford, because it's COVID, a lot of people don't have the money to go out and spend, so they'll, watch it on pirate, for example. A lot of people are very technical savvy these days, and youngsters are very savvy. They'll watch it on pirate if they can get away with it. And it's R-rated as well, so because it's R-rated, a lot of kids under 15, 16 who can't go to cinema to watch it, they'll pirate it and watch it themselves. So immediately they've got rid of like 3 or 4 payment streams. Other payment streams like VOD, they got rid of that because they put it on streaming. DVD sales, Blu-ray sales, they got rid of that because it's already out on streaming. So people might as well just watch it on streaming rather than buying a Blu-ray. and TVs and other channels, they're not even going to go there because it's already out on streaming on HBO Max. So can you see the problem here? They're ruining so many avenues of revenue. These guys just don't know what they're doing, seriously, and they need to be fired or something. I don't know what's wrong with Hollywood. They think just by putting it on streaming and cinema, they'll be super rich, and they think, oh, they're going to be, flying with money and stuff. And one of the reasons they like to put it on streaming because they don't want to pay the fees. If you put it on cinema and things like that, you gotta share the fee with the cinema. So, for example, if one person watches the film for $10, the cinema will take $5, and Warner Brothers will take the other $5, and then you also gotta pay for marketing and distribution and things like that. So out of that $5 Warner Brothers makes, half of that will be gone to that. So out of the $10, Warner Brothers will make $2.50 for using that method. So it's not a big profit for all of these companies. But if you add up the numbers and if you work out all the revenue streams from start to end, so the 5 revenue streams and stuff like that, it does work out a lot more. And if you compare the numbers for the first Suicide Squad, which went through basically the 5 revenue streams I've explained, the first Suicide Squad made 780 million worldwide. So that's cinema alone. Then don't forget about all the streaming sites, all the Blu-ray, DVD sales, all the TV, all the basically that film had made over $1 billion, and they're gonna struggle making $1 billion out of this, to be honest. And I just think the studio execs have messed up big time now, really messed up. And it's a real shame, guys, because this is a really, really good film. It's not even woke. I don't feel like I've been lectured to. When I went to the cinema, I was thoroughly entertained. It was such a better film than the first Suicide Squad, much better in so many ways. And this film deserves to do better, but because of these Warner Brothers executives, they just messed it up, really. And I just think this film's not going to recover. And it's such a shame because they've taken a lot of risks with this film. Obviously, they made it R-rated, and some of these films need to be R-rated. A lot of films, for example, if somebody remade RoboCop, I don't want to see another toned-down PG version. One of the main reasons that RoboCop was so great was because it was R-rated. So I'm really, really happy that this film was R-rated. So they took risks. So 10 out of 10 for the actual film itself. But so this is my fear, guys. This film needed to do well because of all the points I mentioned. So if it doesn't do any well, Hollywood's going to be like, oh, this film hasn't done very well. We went along the, R-rated. We gave the fans what they want, and film didn't do very well. We might as well go back to the woke model. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to go back to being woke. They're going to go back to being PG rated. And because they're going to look at this film and they're going to see, oh, this, if we give the fans what they want, it just doesn't make any money. So we might as well just stick to being woke or stick to being child friendly and get as much money as we can. So that's my fear, guys. And I just think this film doing badly is really, really bad news for Hollywood. And really bad news for fans as well. So that's all I wanted to say. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.